Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's video. In this video, I'm going to look at the topic of integers. So I'm going to look at the topic of integers. That will be our topic for today. So please watch this video up to the end. Be with me up to the end so that we look at integers. Okay. So we are preparing for exams, and this video is for grade 9s. So we are preparing for exams, and as we know, we are writing the exams next month. So we will continue doing the revisions. So please make sure you make a date with us. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you haven't yet liked our page, we encourage you to like our page so that you don't miss our videos. We're going to go through a lot of mathematics topics that we find learners to be having challenges with. So just stick around with us so that you don't miss our video. Okay, without boring so much with a lot of words that are not related to the today's topic, I want you to stay tuned, get a book and a pen and a pencil, whatever I can use to take note of whatever I find relevant in this video. So to start with, I want to describe what integers are. Okay, so let's start with what are integers. So we are saying a category of integers consists of positive numbers. So we say positive numbers. Okay, positive numbers. So what are positive numbers? So when we say positive numbers, we are talking about numbers like 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I know some can say, but sir, those do not have signs. Now you should understand that uh, positive 1 like this, 1 with a positive sign, 2 with a positive sign, and 3 with a positive sign. All these numbers are just the same as these ones. So when a number has a positive sign and a number that has no sign, that means both the number that has positive sign and that which do not have a positive sign, they are all positive numbers. Okay, so the other category of numbers that take part in forming integers is negative numbers. Okay, okay, that is negative numbers. Negative numbers, these are numbers that have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Okay, so maybe someone may be asking, sir, what if I write a negative number that has no sign? There is no such things. Always negatives have got a sign. Always a negative number has got a minus sign. So always when you want to write a negative number, it should always have a minus sign. Okay, only positives can either have a positive sign or without a sign at all, and it will still remain to be a positive. If you write a negative number without a sign, that means it's not a negative number, it's a positive number. Okay, then the other part that forms the integers is 0. The other part that forms integers is 0. Okay, so we know that this is 0. So 0 also forms is also part of integers. So we can say that integers, these are numbers that are made of positive numbers, negative numbers, and 0. Okay, now I'm sure I have noted in all the examples I've given you, I haven't given you a fraction. I haven't also given you a decimal number. or a number with decimal places. I haven't given you that. It is because these numbers are not part of integers. Okay, so 1 over 2, which is a fraction, and 0.5, which is a decimal number, they are all not part of the integers. Okay, so now we have talked about what comprises or what integers are comprised of. Now let's talk about um, comparing these numbers. Okay, so if you have got questions, if there is a point that you need me to clarify, you can still ask in the comment section. Remember, Easy Learning Z Mathematics is for you, so you can ask in the comment section so that you don't miss anything. Okay, all right, so I've described this, so let's go and let's look at comparing integers. Let's compare integers. Okay, so to compare integers, let us use the number line. To compare integers, let us use the number line first. Let's use the number line to compare the integers. Okay, so let's say we have got this number line here. Okay, and this is the middle, which is 0. Then we have 1, we have 2, we have 3. Now, and here we have 1, here we have 2, and here we have 3. Okay, so we want to compare integers. So after writing this, the question is which side will have the negative side and the positive side. Okay, we have indicated the numbers. Now, which side will have the positive and the negative side? So you can write in the comment section which side should have the negatives and the positives. Okay, so the negatives are always on the left side of the 0. Then the negative side numbers are always on the left side of 0, and the positive numbers are on the right side of 0, like this. Okay, so that's how numbers on the number lines are. Okay, now you should also understand that when numbers are when you are moving from left going to the right, okay, from left going to the right, that means what happens is what happens when you're moving from the left going to the right, that means the value increases. Okay, the value increases. Okay, so when you're going to the right side from the left, the value increases. Okay, okay, so what it means here when I say the value increases, that what it means is this. Let's look at these numbers. Okay, let's look at these numbers. We have got 0. This means that 0 is greater than -1. Okay, and -1 is greater than -2, and -3 is greater than is less than negative. -2 is greater than -3, and -3 is less than -2. So as you move from left going to the right, the value increases. Okay, so the value increases. Okay, so that's what it means there. Okay, so when you're moving from left going to the right, the value increases. When you're moving now, what happens if you're moving from right to the left? If you're moving from right to the left, what happens is the opposite of what we stated earlier there, which means when you're moving from right going to the left, that means the value decreases. Okay, the value decreases. Okay, so the value decreases. That means um, when you look at 0, 0 is less than 1, is less than positive 1, and positive 1 is less than positive 2, and positive 2 is less than positive 3. Okay, so when you're moving from right going to the left side, the values decreases. When you are moving um, from left going to the right, the value increases. This means that when you look at this means that when you look at the number line I've shown here, you see that all the negative numbers are on the left side of 0, or are on the left side of positive numbers. That means all the negative numbers are less than all the positive numbers. So it doesn't matter if you have got um, positive 1, you compare positive 1 with negative 3, positive 1 is bigger than negative 3. So it doesn't matter whether the quantity is bigger than the other number. Even if this is 1, this is 3, then even if this is 1 and this is 3, since 1 is on the positive side, is bigger than the negative 3 on the negative side. Okay, so that's a point you have also to understand. So in short, I'm saying positive numbers are bigger than negative numbers. Okay, and you should also know that 0 is bigger than all the negative numbers, as well as 0 is smaller than all the positive numbers. Okay, so that's what you should also understand. Okay, if there are no questions, we go to the next step. We are still on comparing, so we are going to compare now. We're going to compare using less than, okay, using less than, greater than, as well as equal to. We're going to compare using less than, greater than, or equal to. Okay, so let's see. We have got negative 2 box, okay, 0. Then we have got positive 3 box, 1. Okay, then we have also negative 4 box, negative 4. Okay, so let's compare these numbers. So when we look at negative 2 on the number line, we have learned that negative 2 is on the left side of 0. That means negative 2 is less than 0. Negative 2 is less than 0. Okay? Then when you look at 3 and 1, we learned that the numbers on the positive side, when going to the right side, they increase in value, and 3 is on the right side of 1. That means it has greater value than 1. So we're going to say 3 is greater than 1. 3 is greater than 1. Now, when we look at negative 4 and negative 4, these are found on the same position. That means they are equal. Okay, so this is how you can compare them if you are to use these signs on top. Okay, So I'm not going to waste much of your time on this one because um, this is just a summary for you to understand, so that when we start talking about numbers, you should understand which number is big and which number is smaller and which numbers are equal. So basically, that's how you compare. Remember, all the negative numbers are on the left side of 0 and all the positive numbers are on the right side of 0. Okay, now after this, now let's go to the second part of our presentation. Okay, so we have defined the integers, we have said what integers are comprised of, and then we have also we have compared the integers. Now let's look at operations. Okay, so this is the core business of our today's lesson. That was just an introduction, so we look at operations. Okay, so the first operation we will look at is in addition. Okay, addition as our first operation. Okay, okay, so that is addition. So what rule are we going to follow when we are dealing with addition, adding of? So we are saying, what rule do we use or do we follow when we are adding? What rule are we going to use when adding? Okay, so we are talking about addition. So um what happens when you are adding? So when you are adding, so the important thing you need to understand is you should understand that number one, we say when signs are the same, when signs are the same, we maintain. Let me use a shorter word, not maintain. Let's say we keep, to maintain, and we keep. Okay, we keep the sign and add add the numbers So we maintain the sign and add the numbers. What if the signs are different? So we say when signs are different, when the signs are different, we keep the sign of the bigger number we maintain the sign of the bigger number and find the difference of the numbers. Okay, so these are the rules. If you never knew them, I encourage you to copy these rules because these are the ones that he applies. So make sure you follow these rules. So what happens is when the signs are the same, we keep the sign and add the numbers. When the signs are different, we keep the sign of the bigger number and find the difference of the numbers. Okay, that means when the signs are different, we subtract. Okay, we subtract the numbers. Okay, so what happens is this. Let me give you some examples. Let's say we have got question 1, which is 1 plus 3 is equal to. So now I told you earlier on that these without signs, they are also positives. So both are positives. So meaning we have got the answer that we're going to maintain will be the positive. Then we combine 1 and 3, which will give us 4. So answer will be a positive as well. So when you are adding two positive numbers, that means even our answer will be a positive. Okay, now when we look at number 2, we have got -4 plus +2. Okay, so I can either write plus +2 or write just +2 there. We should know by now that even if I write +2 like that, that means 2 is a positive. Now what happens here is we look at individual numbers. We look at -4 and +2. They are all they are not all positive numbers. They are not all positive numbers. They are not all positive numbers. So what do? We follow the second rule, which is saying when signs are different, we keep the sign of the bigger number. So here I want to illustrate when I say a bigger number. This is in terms of quantity. Okay, in terms of quantity, we know that -4 is smaller than +2. -4 is smaller than +2. However, when it comes to quantity, there are 4 negatives here and there are 2 positives here. Now, that quantity we are talking about, the one that has got lot of quantity, that is the sign we maintain. So 4 is bigger than 2. Now, when we're comparing 4 and 2, we are not considering the negative sign part. We're just looking at 4 as an individual. Okay, like I explained earlier on by saying in terms of quantity, we have got 4 negatives and 2 positives. So 4 negatives are many than +2. Okay, 4 negatives are many than 2 negatives in that way. Okay, so that means we're going to maintain the negative sign. Okay, we're going to maintain the negative sign, and then we find the difference of the numbers. So what is the difference of 4 and 2? Or what is 4 minus 2? That will give us 2, and our answer will be a negative. Okay, I hope we haven't gotten confused, because earlier on when I was introducing the topic of integers, I said that all the positives are bigger than negative 4. So how come am I saying this 4 is bigger than 2? I don't mean in value, I mean in quantity. Okay, so there are 4 negatives and 2 positives. Okay, in that way, that's what I mean. Then I'll pick the sign of a number that has got many quantities, then I'll use it in an answer. Okay, so with that explained, if you are confused, please ask in the comment section. I'll take time and find a better way to explain to you. Okay, so we're saying now we have got this one. What if we have negative 4 plus negative 4? Okay, negative 4 plus negative 4, what will be our answer? Negative 4 plus negative 4, what will happen is, like we're going to use now, we can see that the signs are the same here. We have a negative and you have a negative. So before we go any further, we can simplify this one. So we write negative 4, then we multiply positive times a negative, which will give us a negative. I'm going to explain on why I've gotten a negative after multiplying a positive by negative 4. I'll explain as I talk about uh, multiplication. Okay, so we have started with addition. I'll go to subtraction, then multiplication, then division. Okay, so now like this, we can now tell that here we have got a negative number and you have got a negative number. So there are two negatives. So we said if the signs are the same, we maintain the sign, which is the signs, these two numbers have, both numbers have got the sign of a negative. So when the sign is the same, we keep the sign and add the numbers. So we add 4 plus 4 without considering the negative. We just say 4 plus 4 will give us 8, and that is the answer. Negative 8 is our answer. Okay, if you are confused anywhere, you can ask in the comment section, and if I'm too brief in my explanations, please you can encourage me through the comments to elaborate more. But basically that's how it works. Okay, so that's how, those are the rules you follow when dealing with the subtraction, oh sorry, addition. That is the rules you follow when dealing with the addition. So when the signs are the same, you keep the sign, which is if the numbers you are adding are positives, you keep the positive sign. If the numbers you are adding is negatives, that means you keep the negative sign. But if they are different, you maintain the sign of a bigger number, or the number that has got many quantities, and then you subtract the other number from the bigger number, like we did on 2, like we did here. Okay, so basically that's how you go about it. Let's go to the second operation, which is subtraction. Okay, which is subtraction. Okay, so under subtractions, what rules are we going to follow? Okay, so when we are subtracting, the same thing happens, the same rules we stated there, which I'm not going to state again. The same rules applies. Let me just give you some examples. Okay, we have positive 2 minus 4, okay, is equal to number 2. We have got question number 2. We have got minus 8 minus 6 is equal to, then we have got 3 here. We have let me see, negative 4 minus negative 2. Okay, all right, because there on number 1 I'm subtracting the positives, here I'm subtracting the negatives. Okay, so how do we go about this one? So here it's simpler. We can look at these two numbers. We already know they are all positives, which we are subtracting. Now because there is a sign here, a negative sign, now this sign, when when you get this sign, which is a negative sign, and we multiply by this positive, that means it's going to give us 2, then it will be 2 negative 4, like that. Okay, since I told you that I'm subtracting the positives, so you multiply a positive and a negative, we'll get the answer, which is a negative. So meaning, what do we do now here? We get the sign of the bigger number, so we can agree that with bigger quantity, we know that negative 4, that is 4 negatives, so we maintain the negative sign. Okay, we maintain the negative sign, and then we find the difference of 2 and 4 without considering the sign. So it's like this 4 and this 2, we find the difference. So it's more or less like we have 4 minus 2, which will give us 2. So our answer will be negative 2. Okay, please, if you are confused, you can ask in the comment section. However, we are using the same principles I laid earlier on when we're talking about addition. Okay, so we have negative 8 minus 6. Okay, we have negative 8 minus 6. So the same thing will happen. So what we can consider now is we are dealing with both negative numbers, because if we look at 6 as a positive, after dealing a negative with a positive, it will give us a negative, which is negative 6, which is the same. So we consider these as or both numbers as negatives. So what do we do? The principle there, we said if the signs are the same, we maintain the sign, which is a negative. And then what do? We combine the numbers. So it says 8 plus 6, or 6 plus 8 will give us 14. So negative 14 will be our answer. So you can see that when you're subtracting the negatives, it's more or less like you are adding, you combine the numbers. Okay, when you're subtracting the negatives, it's more or less like you're combining the numbers. Okay, so the answer will be negative 14. Okay, we come here now, we have got negative 4 minus negative 2. So what happens here is we're going to write negative 4, then we deal with a negative times negative 2 will give us positive 2. Don't worry about this, just follow the instructions I'm going through. I will talk about this as I talk about multiplication in my next subtopic. I'm going to talk about multiplication and the rules we follow. So a negative, that means this negative times this negative 2 will give us positive 2, which is here, which give us positive 2. Now, once we have come up with this expression, then we can ask ourselves to say, which number has lot of quantity? We know that negative 4 is bigger than, it has a lot of quantity than positive 2. Not bigger in value, it has a lot of quantity than. So I don't want to confuse you, because earlier on I said negatives are smaller than the positives or the negatives. So if I tell you to say negative 4 is bigger than 2, you may be confused. But here what I'm looking at is the quantity. What I mean by quantity, let's look at this question we're solving. We have got negative 4. That means we have one negative, another negative, another negative, another negative. So there are 4 negatives. Then we have got one positive, we have one positive, another one positive. So meaning, in terms of quantity, negative 4 has many negative ones and negative 2 has got only 2 negatives. That's what I refer to. So these, they are many, so I'm going to get the sign of these which are many, which is going to be a negative. That's what I mean here. Don't be confused that no, in addition, negative 4 is bigger than positive 2. No, it doesn't mean like that. So now, since this one has got there are many negatives, then we maintain the sign of a number that has got many items. Then we find the difference of 4 minus 2, which will give us 2, and that will be the answer. Okay, so our answer will be a negative. So that's what we said in rule number 2, which was saying if the signs are different, we maintain the sign of the bigger number. Okay, let's go to our next operation. Okay, so our next operation is multiplication. Okay, multiplication is our next operation. Okay, so here what happens is this. As you deal with this, these are the rules you follow. Okay, so what happens is I'm going to use signs, but I'll speak. So when it's like this, when the signs are the same, the signs are the same, when the signs are the same, this is positive times positive, our answer will be positive. When the signs are the same, that is negative times negative, our answer will be, write in the comment what will be the answer. If you multiply numbers that are negatives, what will be the answer? Write it in the comment section before I tell you. So the answer will be a positive as well. When you multiply a negative number by a negative number, the answer will be a positive. Okay. Now, what if you multiply a negative by a positive? What will be the answer? What if you multiply a positive by a negative? What will be the answer? I want to see your answers in the comment section. Write the answers. What kind of answers are you going to get? Is it going to be a positive? Is it going to be a negative? What will be the answer if you multiply a negative by a positive? What will be the answer? Will it be a positive or a negative? What if you multiply a positive by a negative? Would the answer be a negative or a positive? Write your answer in the comment section. Okay, I presume that you have taken time and written the answer in the comment section. So the answer will be a negative. In any order, you multiply a positive by a negative, the answer will be a negative. You multiply a negative by a positive, the answer will be a negative. Okay. Uh, Thank you so much, Spitfire. Saying, sir, where are you teaching from? Thank you so much. I'm in Lusaka. Oh, you're in India. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. Sir, please, sir, these types of things are taught in grade 7 in India, and I'm in grade 12, past school complete. Okay, thank you so much. Here we start these things in grade 6. That's where we start teaching these. And grade 9, it's also part of that is, the integers are also in the curriculum of grade 8 and 9. So we start teaching these in grade 6. That's where we start teaching these integers. So thank you so much for getting in touch, Spitfire. Let's continue, my dear followers. So now these are the rules. I've just used the signs, but this is what they mean. Let me go through again. Okay, let me start with this one here on top. We are saying when you multiply the positive numbers, your answer will be a positive. When you multiply two negative numbers, your answer will be a positive. When you multiply a negative by a positive, your answer will be a negative. When you multiply a positive by a negative, your answer will be a negative. Let me illustrate what I'm trying to say here. Okay, let's say we have got number 1 here. Then we have 2 times positive 3. What will be the answer? Number 2, we have, please write the answer for question 1. What will be the answer? Just check. This is 2 is also a positive in case you are confused. So we are saying positive 2 times positive 3. What will be the answer? Write your answers in the comment section as I prepare question 2. Then we come here, we say negative 6 times positive 7. What will be your answer? Negative 6 times positive 7. What will be the answer for question 2? We come to question 3, where we have positive 9 times negative 3. What will be the answer? Okay, what will be the answer? And then we have 4, which is negative 2 times negative 13. What is the answer? Please, I want to see your answers in the comment section. Please write your answers in the comment section so that I also comment. Please don't worry, don't be scared. Please write your answers in the comment section. Okay, write your answers in the comment section. I'm checking on my comments to see the answers. So, okay. So what happens here now? Let's start looking at these examples. So we have got positive 2 times positive 3. So that means we are using the rule that is on number 1. We are using this rule number 1. Okay. So we are told to say when you multiply a positive by a positive, your answer will be a positive. So we can be assured that our answer will be a positive. So what will be the answer if we 2 comes 3 times, or if we 3 is counted or is added thrice, if 2 is added thrice, or if 3 is added twice, what will be the answer? So if we add 2 3 times, if we put 3 2's together, what will be our answer? It will be 6. So that will be positive 6. Okay, we have now negative 6 times positive 7. So we have negative 6 times positive 7. So this is the expression. This is the law we are following. Negative times positive. So we are told when you multiply a negative by a positive, our answer will be a negative. Okay, so like that. That means when we say the answer will be a negative, then we say 6 times 7. 6 times 7 will give us 42. So the answer will be negative 42. Okay, please, if you are confused, you can ask me in the comment section. Here, I'm not teaching you how to multiply numbers, or I'm not teaching you mental arithmetic. Here, I'm teaching you the rules of integers when multiplying. Okay, so you are saying when you multiply a negative by a positive, our answer will be a negative. That's why I've got negative 2 as the answer. Then we have got positive 9 times negative 3. So here we are using this rule. Okay, for question 3, we are using that rule, which is a positive times a negative. So we know that when we multiply a positive by a negative, our answer will be a negative. Then we say 9 times 3 will give us 27. Okay, so that is the answer, which is negative 27. We come to example 4. Example 4 is negative 2 times negative 3. We are using this rule here. Okay, this is the rule that is implied in question 4. So when you multiply a negative by a negative, our answer will be a positive. Okay, these are the rules that you need to bear in mind. So then we say 2 times 13 will give us 26. So our answer will be positive 26. So basically, these are the rules that we follow when you are multiplying. When you multiply positive by a positive, your answer will be a positive. When you multiply a negative by a negative, your answer will be a positive. When you multiply a negative by a positive, your answer will be a negative. When you multiply a positive by a negative, your answer will be a negative. So what is the summary of these rules? The rules is when you multiply numbers with the same sign, your answer will be a positive. When you multiply a number with different signs, the answer will be a negative. So once the signs are different, our answer will be a negative. Once the signs are the same, our answer will be a positive. Okay? So basically, that's what you need to bear in mind. When you multiply a positive by a positive, your answer will be a positive. Okay, so If you have got questions, you can ask in the comment section. Let's go to the next subtopic, which is division. Okay, so let's talk about division. Okay, how do we deal with integers when division is involved? Okay, so these are the rules. Now, I won't tell you if they are similar with multiplication. Let me hear from you in the comment section whether the rules are similar or the same. Okay, so let's say when we divide a positive by a positive, the answer will be a positive. Okay, when you divide a negative by a negative, the answer will be a positive. Okay. Okay. Then what happens if you divide a positive by a negative? When you divide a positive by a negative, the answer will be a positive. Will be a positive, yeah. What did I say? Sorry. I'm talking about dividing different signs. What's wrong? Okay, when you divide a positive by a negative, your answer will be a negative. When you divide a negative by a positive, the answer will be when you divide a negative by a positive, the answer will be a negative. Okay, sorry, I don't know, I was looking at the phone, I don't know why. Sorry for that, I was checking for the comments. Sorry for. Okay, so what happens is, now let's look at these rules. Let me give you some examples. I have got number 1 here, which is 8 divided by negative 2. What will be the answer? Number 2, we have 12 divided by positive 3. What will be the answer? Okay, we have 3 where we have 27, negative 27 divided by negative 9. What will be the answer? Okay, then the last one we have got negative 9 divided by positive 3. What will be the answer? Okay, so let's try to work out this one. So when we look at the rules that applied here, that is, we divide a positive by a negative. We divide a positive by a negative. That means we are using this rule. That means our answer will be a negative. So our answer will be a negative because that's what that rule is saying. This is question 1. On question 1, we're using that rule. So when we divide a positive by a negative, the answer will be a negative. So we say 8 divided by 2 will give us 4. So the answer will be negative 4. Okay? Always you should remember that when you divide a positive by a negative, the answer will be a negative. Then we come to 12. We come to question 2. We have got 12, positive 12 divided by 3. So here we are using this rule here. So this is the rule. So this is question 2 using that rule. So we say 12 divided by 3 will give us, now since both signs are positives, that means our answer will be a positive, and that will be positive 4. Okay, we come to question 3, which is negative 27 divided by negative 9. Negative 27 divided by negative 9. Now we can agree that this question is using this principle. So this principle is being used by question 3. So we say 27 divided by 9, that means our answer will be a positive. We can know that since the signs they are both negatives, so our answer will be a positive. Then we say 27 divided by 9 will give us 3, so our answer will be a positive. Okay, we come to number 4, which is negative 9 divided by negative 9 divided by positive 3. That means question 4 is using this rule, which is our answer will be a negative. So we say uh, here our answer will be a negative because the signs are different, and then we say 9 divided by 3 will give us 3, and that will be the answer. Okay, so that's how you divide numbers, or that's how you divide integers. If the signs are the same, the answer is the positive. When the signs are different, the answer is negative, regardless of the arrangement. Whether it's positive divided by negative or negative divided by positive, the answer always is a negative. Okay, so that's how you do it. Okay, so if you have got questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. Basically, that's how you go about it. Like I said earlier on, we will continue revising with you, so I encourage you to be with us as we revise, because we will continue revising with you. We won't stop until you write your exams. So make sure subscribe to our YouTube channel and also like our Facebook page, as we're going to continue revising with you. So please make sure you subscribe. So for tomorrow, we are going to look at matrices. We're going to look at matrices. So if you have got difficulties in matrices, we encourage you to be with us tomorrow at the same time. So the appropriate time I can encourage you is 21 hours. 21 hours, it's easier for me to be live and have a network that is not easily interrupting. So please make sure you you catch us tomorrow at the same time, 21 hours. We're going to go through matrices. We'll look at um, order of matrices, adding of matrices, subtraction of matrices, and we'll look at how time will be with us. We also talk about multiplication of matrices. So make a date with us tomorrow so that we go through all those subtopics. We go through the topic of matrices. So we'll just going on tackling topic by topic so that we revise with you. I know maybe you may have not enough time to revise at school. We'll provide that time so that you perform well. So make sure you like our Facebook page, you follow us on YouTube channel, and you make sure you make a date with us. With this power outage, I encourage you to use your phone properly, so that if you are a parent, you give your child so that your child may not miss our revision. Definitely promise you that if your child will revise with us, there is no way he's going to fail the exam. Not even targeting 40%. If you revise with us, we can assure you 75% and above. So make sure you make a date with us every day as we revise. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and you also follow us on Facebook, because sometimes due to network, I may not be able to go live on both platforms at the same time. So if I go live on one platform, in case network is not all that strong, you should be able to catch us on either platform. So make sure go on our Facebook page and follow us. If you have already followed us on Facebook page, then that's good. You always catch us as we revise. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you and good night.